So we're out here Saturday morning. We are heading up Culp's Hill. Cheating, of course, I'm using the car. But I just had to stop. That's what's making that noise. A little squirrel. He's right there. Making some funny noises. That's not 25 miles an hour. But we're gonna go ahead and venture a little farther up the hill. Just had to stop and kind of check out some of the monuments because I think we might have missed them last year. Oh, getting them now. So now we're at the top of Culp's Hill. You can see the tower. I don't know if I'm gonna climb my fat ass back up that tower. I did it last year in 100 degrees. That kind of sucked. But didn't really take a lot of time to, walk around and look at the monuments. So here we go. Everywhere you go, there's usually one of these plaques here, and it kind of gives you a little rundown. Pause that to read it. Then we've got, what do we got? We've got this big statue right here. Some of these things are just really beautiful. There we go. George Sears Green. I don't know how well you can see any of that. He wants us to go that direction. Okay. I'm thinking probably not. And then if we come over here, down a little trail that runs off there, and then there's a trail that runs off there, and there's some more monuments. And last year, I believe, I found an Ohio monument down there. I can't get to the Indiana one right now because they're having a reenactment. I should be watching that instead of walking around, but I'm not. There we go. If I remember correctly, I believe that's a parrot. In 1864. How well we can get that. Well, one thing I learned from last year's trip, some of the cannons around here were not used. They weren't here, and you can tell very easily by the end of the barrel. Stamped 1864. So if you do the math, it was 1863 when the battle happened. So that tells you something. But cool nonetheless. It is a real cannon. So it just wasn't used for this battle. Let's see what we've got. Independent Battery E. Oh, and I saw flank marker. Let's see whose flank marker this is. So these little ones here are called flank markers. Kind of just give you an idea. Right flank battery E. So the left flank is probably going to be, I don't know. Probably over there. Let's see if I'm right. It's still a lot of fun to just come back and kind of check it out. There's another parrot. See? Watch it over there. There's broken glass. There's broken glass over in those rocks over there.
I have to go over there. Look.
Here's her.
Come on.
95th New York Infantry. Oh, this might not be a flank marker. Don't know. I'm not an expert. Obviously. Trying to find the left flank. What's this guy? 76 New York. So there was quite a few different regiments up here, as you can tell, which obviously, if you know anything about Culp's Hill, it wasn't a short fight. But here we go. Now back then all of this would have been cleared out. You could have probably seen straight down a lot better than you can today, but nonetheless, still really neat. Now we're gonna walk down this little trail right here. We're gonna attempt to. It's pretty, it's got divots. There's another marker over here. 1,400 monuments around here. So just about everywhere you go, you can find one. There we go. 60th New York left flank. Okay, so if I remember right, the right flank was back up there. So this would have been their left flank. So, you know, guy standing next to you like this, extended from here to there. I don't really know how to explain that any better. But this just kind of gives you an idea of what group of men, who they were with, and where their left and their right is. Now this is the right of the 66th OVI. Not really sure. Or is that a D? That might be a D. Some of them are kind of hard to read. Just from weathering and whatnot. Buckeye found her statue.
Stop it.
At least you can get to yours right now.
That's true.
I mean, that's pretty cool. And then this, so a lot of these will tell you the different skirmishes or battles that they were in. Kind of gives you a little rundown of them. I'm gonna attempt it. Yeah, I don't blame you. Not sure I'm gonna get down it either. She's walking Blue with her, so don't need to be trying to walk her down here. If you can just see how difficult this is, and I mean, I'm in pretty decent shoes. It's steep. So you can just imagine what it would have been like 163 years ago for those men. And they were here. This position killed, casualties in this position killed 1, wounded 17. Just wonder how in the hell they even got up here to do that, you know? But think back, they didn't have the greatest shoes, if they even had shoes. And they're having to traverse stuff like this. Those men were built different. That's just all there is to it. Oh man. What a view. Obviously I'm not going all the way down there, but this kind of gives you an idea. And it's like that all the way around. There's a witness rock, I think. It's definitely been there long enough to be one. Woodpecker. I found you. But yeah, there's so much history here. And this is our second trip. And our first trip we spent 3 days here. This trip we're spending 3 days, and we're still not going to see it all. You know, we did go on a little round top yesterday. Didn't get a lot of footage or pictures from there because we went with a tour. Holy shit. Here, I'll flip this around so you can see what I'm doing right now. Whew. That is steep. There we go. Interesting fact about these. Those aren't just accidentally fallen there. Those were intentionally put there to divert water when it rains to help stop erosion. See, if you look back right there, you can see a few more all the way down. Those are water breaks. Something the park does to try and slow up erosion. Keep everything as good as they can for us. And to preserve it as best as they can. That one not intentional. Wow. Okay. I could keep going, but I'm not. We still got a lot of other stuff to cover. So what do you say? I'm gonna go have a coronary, and then we'll be back and we'll have a lot more stuff to show you. How about that? All right, we are at stop number 14 on the auto tour, Stevens 5th Main. I told you I'd show you some cannons, and we're gonna do that, by God. Just check this out. Keep in mind these aren't where the cannons originally were. A lot of them are just placed here for ornamental reasons. You probably already knew that. But these are the Napoleons, I believe. And one way you can tell, smooth bore. This one does have some stamping right here, so this is potentially one that was used. It's kind of hard to find them because even the park doesn't really know which ones were and weren't. I don't know how well we're going to be able to read that. Let's see. In command of the right wing of the Army of the Potomac at the Battle of Gettysburg, July 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. These guys would have occupied it. And off to, I'm not sure what direction that is, would be Cemetery Hill. And then on the other side of it, the Cemetery Ridge, on the other side of it, Cemetery Hill. So that just kind of gives you an idea of just where Culp's Hill was in relation to cemetery and seminary, and kind of puts in perspective just how big this battlefield is. And that horse. And they yeah, they went full detail on that. If you know, you know. Let's see. I mean, even right there, that clasp or whatever, they've even got the detail on that. That's really, just really, really cool. And there's another Napoleon. See this one, 352. So yeah, I mean, very well. Or maybe that's a 6. I don't know. I can actually read it better in camera. Let's see if we can see if there's a plug in there. Yep, I think. Yeah. they'll do is they'll actually jam something in there, keep people from playing with them, because there's one here that somebody, rumor has it, stuck dynamite in, and I've seen that one, and you can definitely tell it from the rest. So yeah, just it's kind of cool though. I mean, we didn't get to stop here last year because it was too freaking hot, and there wasn't any cover, and Blue keeps peeing everywhere.
She's gotta pee all over Gettysburg.
First thing she did when we got on Little Round Top yesterday was poop.
She shit on Culp's Hill too?
And she shit on Culp's Hill. She has to be from the south. She just has to be. She has to be Longstreet reincarnated or something. I don't know. Anyways, onward and upward. So now we are on Seminary Ridge. This would be the Confederate side. As you can see off in the distance over there, Cemetery Ridge. And this is one of my favorite monuments here. This kind of tells the story summed up. I mean, this is how those boys would have been fighting. This is a Mississippi monument. Probably one of my favorite. And the more I look at it, the more you see. This would be the flag bearer. And this man's fighting for it. It's kind of hits you a little bit, you know. This would have been Barksdale's charge, I guess. I mean, that's what the sign. So I'm gonna take it that this would have been kind of how they planned out Pickett's charge, but don't hold me to that one. But here we see the peach orchard, Emmitsburg Road, which is right. Let's see if I can zoom in. Not where those two cars coming at us, that road right there, where the barn is. They would have had all their batteries here. The Union would have, and literally Seminary Ridge is just a battery, a giant battery. I mean, all those cannon would have just cut loose on July 3rd. Maybe not those cannon, but you get what I'm saying. Now here we do have another different type. I used to be well versed on these old guns, but not so much anymore. But I think that these might have been 6-pounders. This number 91, smooth bore. Been one they would have loaded with obviously ball shot or grape shot. That was some gnarly stuff. It turned that into a shotgun and do an extreme amount of damage. Well, let's go see what else we can find. See some big boomers. There you go. 1974. I'm gonna just go on a limb and say that one wasn't here. See what we got here. All right. Wow. All right. Well, up the stairs we go. spare you this part. anyways, we're holding them off best they could. And here's the funny thing about this. Well, not really funny. Okay, that was kind of funny. So Dan Sickles was supposed to remain up there, but he thought this was a better spot to defend. So he made that mistake. And you can see just how far off he was. Really opened the door for a lot of shit to happen. Not sure what that is out there. Hell, let's wander out there. Can't be that bad, right? I'm gonna have to get checked for ticks later. Believe it or not, I got my first tick here last year. Oh, there's a path. We'll be all right. Pretty decent little march. Now, I'm not sure if the stone breastworks here was where they placed it originally, or if it's been modified slightly by the park. Anything's possible. Look at the wheat. I'll tell you what, getting over some kind of injury in my ankle. I don't know if it's plantar foot or if I tore a ligament or what. Not limping as bad today. But climbing up that damn hill, and this one, and climbing up the watchtower, not a great idea. I've had smarter ideas. But when you wait a year to go do something, by God, you're going to do it. Here we go. This is for the 5th Corps, 2nd Division. Roman B. Ayers. And again, you can pause this to read it. 10 killed officers, 154 men wounded, 56 officers, 746 men captured or missing, 63 men, total 1,029 men. Were either captured near here or here. Thought there would be something on that, but I guess not. Kinda puts things into perspective a little bit when you sit there and think about it, man. All the hell those boys went through. Utter hell. Don't even get me started on the medical techniques. Yeah, I'd tell you right now, some of their tools that they use, I have similar tools in my toolboxes to work on cars. So if that tells you anything, I'd almost rather just take what I had coming, you know. Anyways, let's wander down and check out Devil's Den and maybe make our way over to the wheat field or the punch bowl. Might even go out to the peach orchard. I might be in it. I don't know. Not a topographical genius, obviously. Not really a licensed tour guide either, so if you guys are believing what I'm saying, take that at your own risk. Well, we left that little spot we were last just at and just so happened to come across the wheat field, so I figured, what the hell. So, you heard me say punch bowl, whirlpool of death, right there. You can kind of see how it dips that, lots and lots of men needlessly died right there, or wounded, dismembered. You catch the drift. So we did this last year. It's a hell of a lot cooler this year. So we're she's staying in the car with Blue because I don't know, the tick thing just kind of freaks me out, and Blue's having some skin troubles right now anyways, and she doesn't need one more thing. So I'm gonna wander it. Why not? But here you can really see the difference in the terrain. Kind of goes up and then down a little bit. Divots right here. And really goes down right there. Now you gotta imagine these roads weren't here back then. I will say, if you come in June or July, the weed's not this high. I've heard if you come later in November, October, you know, once it's had a chance to drop, you can see things a lot better. But the park does do their best to mow around all the markers and everything, so you can still wander out. You know, they cut you a path and all that. Getting gassed, man. Okay. So we've got Battery D, 1st New York Light Infantry. Just a very well done monument. There's a little, I don't know how well we can see that. Just the way they've done these is just really, really very well done. It's coming through the camera way better than it is for me standing here. Okay. 1862. This one was here. She was here and used. Well, potentially used. Over here, we've got Battery D's right flank marker. Veteran's been here. Had a ton of coins in my car, I would do that, but I'm not a veteran, so I won't. Let's check this one out and see. We know that one was. Survey says. Da-da-da-da. Can't tell. Don't see anything. There's something right here. It's just too far weathered. There's definitely something on it, but I can't tell. So if you remember, that was the right flank. Here's Battery D's left flank. Right here. And I think there's even some out there. But that just gives you the idea of how they would have swept the field or defended it. Then we'll march over here and start seeing some more flank markers. You can kind of get a sense of the chaos. Let's face it, it would have been utter chaos. The amount of time it takes to load one of those rifles, go through all the steps, do it without making a mistake while you're getting shot at. They were built different. Here we have the 1st Brigade, 1st Division. 61st Regiment, New York Infantry. Organized September of 1861, mustered out by the 14th of July, 1865. See the losses, and you see 62, you're thinking, you know, that's not that much. But when you realize that some of these divisions were only 250 men, or 150, 62 lost is a pretty big percentage. Here's their right flank for the 61st, right there. So we'll wander over here. You know, when we were here last year, we didn't really understand those flank markers very well. Now, I am not taking a straight line coming to this monument. I did see the flank markers, I'm believing, for the 61st. But we wanted to come and check this out first before I got away from it. This is for 27th Connecticut. Again, sorry if this isn't coming through very well. Yes, that was a cannon. They're having a lot of reenactments today, which is partially why I couldn't get to the Indiana monument. I didn't want to just like walk up in the middle of that. You know, common courtesy thing. It does still exist. Just if people were wondering, it's okay to be respectful. You don't have to be a jackass the whole time. Just saying. That's been Metalhead's public service announcement for the masses. All 33 people that are going to watch this. Who am I kidding? 33? I'd be lucky. Okay, anyways. Now we have, if you remember, the 61st, the right flank of the 61st is on the other side of that monument. You can kind of see it right there. See if I can get you closer. There it is. So we come all the way over here and boom. So this would have been shoulder to shoulder in a line, maybe 2 stacks deep. And then you have the right flank for the 81st, which I'm sure this monument will explain. And this will kind of, the numbers start to add up. You start to see why it was 693,000 in 3 days. Let's see. Killed and died of the wounds, 17 officers, 187 men. Died of disease, 2. And then it says 89. I'm not really sure. Disease and etc. Wounded, 44, and then 518. So I don't know if this is like that division and then total. Captured or missing, 3. Total lost, 1050. Okay. That's a lanternfly. Good soldiers follow orders. You're supposed to do that. Look it up, I'm not kidding. So I'm thinking that this is everywhere that this regiment served. Appomattox, it would have to be. This might make a little more sense. Total enrollment 1,620. Total lost 1,050. There's what I was talking about earlier. Where yeah, it doesn't look like a lot until you actually get the perspective on just how many was in there to begin with. So yeah, it didn't look like a lot until you realize it was. Now we have, should be their left flank for the 81st. I think that's what that was. Yep. And then the right flank for the 148th begins. And you can just get an idea. We were just over there. Okay. And then here. And then here. That gives you an idea of the size of this place. I got a feeling if I keep doing this flank marker, I'm going to be on the other side of the friggin' hill. Don't see it. Oh, I think that's it right there. Way down there. Well, there's another one. Okay. Not trying to get too far away from the car here, but there we go. $1,370 total enrollment. 1,089 lost. Hey, I did find an Indiana monument. How about that? Clarion, Indiana. This is for the 1st Brigade, 1st Division, 2nd Corps. 148th, I'm assuming Pennsylvania Infantry. Just amazing stonework. $468 officers and men. Total missing, killed 125 out of 468. It's like 30-40%. I think. You guys already know I'm terrible at math, so don't even start yelling at me about that. Anyways, we're gonna wander off some more. This is a good view of that bowl. Some of them will call it a punch bowl. Primarily it's called Whirlpool of Death, because the Confederates of the Union just kept coming and coming, just like this, back and forth, until it just petered out. Sorry about the extreme close-up there. It's been a while since I've made a video. I had to remember to hold the phone sideways and blah, blah, blah. So here we're going to wander back to the car. I'm going to grab a water and then we'll go wander out that way and that way. Unless I get yelled at, which I probably will. Oh well. We'll be right back. Alright, stopped for a water. It's in my back pocket. Guys, I really don't know how much of this I'm going to walk. I really want to. There's so much I want to show you. But that's not really up to me. So anyways, there's a few monuments right here. We'll make our way to them. Maybe next time we come out, I'll do a better job at this. But it just kind of puts things into perspective is all I'm trying to do. I'm no expert at this. I'm no supreme being that knows everything. I'm just a guy that paid attention in history class a long time ago. That's all. And I figure you guys might want to see some cool stuff. Maybe you've always wanted to come here and you just never had the chance, or can't, or medical problems, you can't make it, and that's totally understandable. So I just kind of show you some cool stuff. Here is a left flank marker for the 57th New York. But mind you, where we were at was just up here. Where is it? There it is. There's where we were just at. Now we're down where it dips. There's some fencing there. This is the 57th New York monument. Really, really cool. Very well done, these things were. This tells you where all the 57th served. They served here, obviously, in the Wilderness, Mine Run, Todd's Tavern, Auburn Hill, Gold Harbor, Bristow, Petersburg Station, Deep Bottom, and Reams Station. The boys made their way around. They engaged the enemy here on the 2nd of July 63 and on the 3rd on Cemetery Ridge, and they resisted Pickett's charge. You guys can probably read this better than I can say it. So they made their way around Yorktown, Fair Oaks, White Oak, Swamp, Gaines Mills, Malvern Hill, Peach Orchard, Antietam, Savage Station, Fredericksburg, and Chancellorsville. Here we go. Where'd he go? I think I got him. Anywho, anyway. Just doing what I'm told. So that was the left flank for the 57th. Not really sure. I think the right might go beyond that fence, or we might just run into it out here. Now we're kind of backtracking. Look at this. Imagine being nearly 100-degree day, wool uniform, 40 pounds of supplies on you, and your ammunition, and your weapon, and you're doing this at 10 in the morning or 3 in the afternoon on what could arguably potentially be the hottest days of the year. There is a flank marker out there. I see it. I'll see if I can get us to it. If not, I'll just sucker up Buttercup and we'll go in. But they've cut a path, so we don't have to do that. So that was the 57th left flank right over there. Now you have the 4th Michigan right flank. This is where things start to get hectic. I mean, just by me jumbling around, it is not me jumbling around. That is, that's how it happened here. You can see where they easily got disorganized, discombobulated, so on and so forth. There we go. What's this one for? I don't know, probably should have gone to the other side. Total enrollment, 1325 officers and men. Killed in action, 8 men for 115. See, that's a little confusing. But they lost 273. Mustered in Adrian, Michigan, June 20th, 1861. Veterans consolidated with 1st Michigan Infantry on June 30th of 64. So they just reformed them, basically. Brought them in with a different unit. I'm not from Michigan, but I'll show you guys some love. Michigan is not completely horrible. Alright, found another flank marker. Let's see whose it is. It should be the 4th. What was that one? The 4th, right? I would not want to be the guy that has to mow this. Where you at? Uh-oh. There we go. Yeah, 4th Michigan's left. So, went from here to the other side of that monument. Was the 4th Michigan. You could literally do this all day long here. Just find flank markers. Now we got another one coming up. And this would have been for... Don't know. Why would you have it this way? That doesn't make sense. Left flank for the 82nd Regiment. 82nd or 62nd? 62nd. Okay. What was it? Left flank? Right flank. Which means one of those is probably their left. Then we have that awesome stone wall back there. There's more back there. Oh, great. That's cool. 62nd Pennsylvania. Oh, I like that. Anyways. Wow. So, I'm assuming out of 400 men, they lost 175. I'm assuming. I could be wrong there. The A word does. Oh, man. We're going to get through some more of these flank markers and then I'm going to head back to the car. So, here is the right flank. 62nd Regiment. And this one. It's kind of really hard to see this one. Left flank for what looks to be the 115. 115 Pennsylvania, I think. So we'll go down here. There we go. Alright. This should be the right flank. There you go. So you've got this regiment there, another one over there, just so many. It's really hard to keep track of. looks like somebody's ventured out there, but I don't see anything sticking up. I'm not going to wander all the way over there. There's a tree there, that's all that is. But these monuments are just really cool. There's another flank marker. Let's see what we've got over here. Like a little creek would have ran through here. 17th Main. Right flank. So they kind of would have been covering the area. And then you got right here. Oh, this one's really cool. Oh well, if I can quit moving. Kind of gives you an idea what they were doing at the wall. '17th Maine fought here in the wheat field for 2.5 hours. From 4:10, well that's only 1.5. I'll let them have it. I'm wrong anyways. But the hottest point in the afternoon. Wow. Just really well done. There's not really much on the backside. But if you remember, that marker is the right flank for the 17th. There's way back there. Interesting. This will probably be the left mark. Probably look really stupid talking to myself, but I don't care. I'm at that age now. Yep. 17th. And left flank, yeah. So that's where I'm going to head back to the car for now. But you can just kind of, there's so many flank markers out here. Total in Gettysburg is like 14 or 1,450 monuments. And then the explanation that came directly from a park ranger yesterday is those markers, some of them are in the same exact spot as where whatever happened. Some of them are near it. Some of them were never even there. Like there's a monument for the Confederate Navy somewhere. Explain to me how the Navy would have gotten into Pennsylvania unless they walked. So maybe they did. I don't know. Oh shit. I don't know if I can get through this way or not. Oops. That's alright. What's a little bit more walking gonna hurt? We got more to come anyways. We're probably just gonna go ahead and not do Devil's Den, even though it's like right there. Probably gonna head to Cemetery Ridge now. Maybe I can catch something of the peach orchard. If I can get close enough to some of the farms around here, there's a really cool one that still has a cannonball hole in the side of it. So we'll see. Couldn't avoid this one. Blue kind of perked up. This is the monument for the Irish Brigade. And yes, they did have a dog. Her name was Lucy, I think. Very loyal companion she was. And of course, they've got the Irish flag, they've got ours. These guys were fighters, I'll tell you that. Just so much to see out here. I had one catch my eye. This is Sickles Avenue. This one's really cool. Park Ranger. Blue, you gotta quit walking in front of me, kid. If that resembles a bullet, well, that's what it's meant to do. I believe this is Sickles Avenue is what it was.
I think so.
Yeah. Let's see. 3rd Brigade, Burling 2nd Division. What a cool monument that one is. "77 wounded, 13 missing, total 114. Oh, 24 killed also. Here Colonel Francine fell. That is just really neat. So like I was saying earlier, some of these are where things happen, some of them aren't. But usually it's a pretty good indication when it says, here's where they fell. They're usually not lying. So that's where that colonel was ultimately wounded and more than likely didn't survive. Or did. I don't know, I'd have to read up on it. Again, I'm no expert, so follow me at your own will. We have the 139th Pennsylvania. Vols, I'm assuming that's volunteers. 6th Corps. Advanced near this point, driving the enemy the evening of July 3rd. So they kind of chased him a little bit. I'm assuming this would have been after Pickett's charge. Kind of driving them out, seeing how that ended on July 3rd.
Yeah.
Got some more. Now these are parrots, but I think these are also rifled. Parrots, they have that nice little bit of support in the back there, and it is rifled. However, I don't think it was here at the time. Some of these are recreated. Clark's battery. This one's probably the same story. Nope. 1863, number 11. This one might have been here. Very good odds. But that one might have been used on this field somewhere. Yeah, no telling where though. Then if you look, you can see the Pennsylvania monument. It's the biggest one on the field. Imagine that. There's the barn with the cannonball damage still in the side of it. I can't remember what that farm was, or what they call it. Schreiber, might be the Schreiber farm, maybe. I think that's the Kadori. No, I think that's the Kadori farm. Usually where the most people are standing. I'm not going to go on too much of a flank marker hunt here. 73rd New York, 74th New York. '70th. Those lantern flies are everywhere. They really like this monument. 71st. 72nd. What was that, 5? And here we are with Sickles Brigade. So you can see how far Sickles advanced. And it's just marker after marker after marker. You can see how far he advanced, where he should not have been, because the little round top is over there. So I had it wrong earlier. It's way worse. Way worse than what I first anticipated as where Sickles sent his troops. It was not where we were parked earlier, it was right here. So, easily 2 miles? Something like that. So here we are, we've made our way to the angle. See the North Carolina monument? See, there's a ton of Confederate monuments across the way there at Seminary Ridge. There's one. And the big one. Everybody's dancing around it. I'm out here, but it's not horrible. Just bring some water. Here you go. All the breastworks and the cannon. There's the high water mark. 71st Pennsylvania. I don't know, you might want to pause this to read it. Now there's a way, I think the path is over these rocks. Yep. There we go. So they made it there, and there is a marker where General Armistead believed to be wounded, or where he fell. I don't know if I'll find it, but let's try it, shall we? But you can see the angle. The men would have been all down this line. Confederates would have come and do small arms fire right there, right down that road. Is when they would have gotten range. They'd already been being hammered by cannon. But that's when the real fun began. Being sarcastic, by the way. Let's see. There is a path. It's not like I'm trampling on it. So I'm trying to be respectful somewhat and stay on the beaten path, as you should in life. But I believe we're coming up to the marker. Possibly. It might be that North Carolina marker. Let's see what it says. Okay, so that's not the marker. I think there's one around here, but I'm not sure where. Oh well. Maybe we'll find it sooner or later. I'm gonna come back over here. Yeah. There. Still spry. Probably wasn't supposed to do that, but I did it anyways. Now, we can see some more flank markers. Possibly might come across the one I'm looking for. Maybe. I want to say it was back that way though. Or it might be where you don't have to jump the rocks. Didn't think of that one. See what we got. You can just see how big this is. This would be the left flank for the 71st. Now's when shit gets real. Company A, 69th. Company F, Company D, Company H, and it just keeps going. So here you can see an entire, I'm gonna go ahead and just say an entire division, pretty much. Second division. Now I'm not very well versed on any of that, so don't quote me to it, but there's enough markers here where that definitely could be the case. Then you get the feeling that you're walking on someone's grave, because you probably are. Don't know. There we've got more cannon with their, I would call them ammo carriages, but artillery carts. I don't know what you really want to call them. It's what they kept their ammo in. And gunpowder. Found it. I've heard tales that that's not the case, and I've heard tales that that is. That one could have been here. It's just amazing history. Now, General Armistice. This shows you how far the Confederates got, which would line up with the copse of trees, or the high water mark. Because right here, where all the Union line was. So, I guess if I leave you with any kind of message, don't forget history. If you don't know all of it, you can learn it. But we can't erase our history. We need to learn from it and not continue to make the same mistakes that people are making again. This is why you don't pack dynamite into a cannon. That one, she stovepiped a little bit. Rumor has it, what I've been told, I don't know how true it is, but what I've heard is some kids snuck in here one night and packed some dynamite in that guy. Well, you can see the result. Damn kids. Yeah!
Oh, dude, he's barrel rolling.
That's awesome. I got that. That was freaking sweet. Yeah, he's coming. Can't see him in the sun.